It's the Last Stand Podcast. And here's your host, Brian Custer.
That's right. It is the Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. And I'll tell you, in the super welterweight division, the biggest name is Jermell, the Iron Man Charlo. He is the unified super welterweight champion of the world. Champ, welcome to the Last Stand.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Great to have you on. Listen, the exciting thing is you have 3 of the belts in the division. Brian Castaño has 1 of them. But on July 17th, you guys are going to meet on Showtime Championship Boxing to become the undisputed champion. What would it mean to you to become the first undisputed champion at 154 pounds in this 4-belt era?
Well, I mean, it's a big thing. I feel like every fight that I fought has been a hard fight, but every fight has all those hard fights led up to these moments like this. You know, I plan to get in there and be victorious, do everything that I can do, and the willpower that I have to make this a fair night for myself, a victorious night for myself. And, you know, this was in my plans to you know, get my belt back and to just wipe out the division and win all of the belts in the division. And so that's been my goal. And I feel like I've been doing the goal, you know?
Yeah. What would it mean to you, though, to not only become the undisputed champ, but to do it in your home state of Texas?
Well, see, that's a big thing. You know, I love the fact that I'm fighting in San Antonio. San Antonio bring out good crowds. San Antonio, they love boxing, you know. Houston, my brother just put on for Houston. So when I look at this thing, I look at it like, you know, a lot of people been wanting us to come back home. And so now that we bringing it back to Texas and boxing, you know, we love boxing in Texas. And so, you know, this is what we do. And now that I can do this in my backyard, it's a big thing for me. It'll be fantastic.
Now, I'm sure you visualized when you went to sleep at night how this fight was going to play out in the ring. So how do you envision this fight playing out in the ring on July 17th?
I mean, I always think about the worst, you know what I'm saying? I think about the worst, a dirty night. I'm thinking about all kind of different things, you know, like I've been in boxing for a while, and thank God I suffered a defeat before because I was able to figure out that feeling that I don't want. You know, a lot of people that they undefeated, the difference that makes between them is they don't really know what it feels like, you know, like, and it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Some of us do because we lost in the amateurs, but in the professionals, it's a lot different because of embarrassments and, you know, different people, they don't stop talking. And, you know, you got a lot of haters. If you got haters like the Charlos, you got to kind of not like be tough skinned, you know, and deal with that. So right now, you know, I play this thing out victorious. Like I play this thing out like I hit harder than me. I'm stronger than I ever been. And training so aggressive and my mental is better. Like it's just different right now for me to go into this fight this summer to make this happen for myself and do this for my children, my family.
Because this fight is so big, let me just ask you straight out: will you knock out Brian Castaño?
If I could land the right clear shot, I don't know if he'll be able to get hit with that many shots or even take that type of power that I'm about to possess on July 17th. So I don't want to predict a knockout. I just like to have tough wars. I know he's a rugged war fighter, but that's what I've been training for. I've been training for tough wars, and I put it all out in the gym, and I train very, very hard. And, you know, like I said, I added Juan Guzman, which was a great thing for me. One of the best things that I did for myself, because I feel like I've really been just training up. Like whenever I'm not with Derek, you know, I live in Houston. Derek lives out there in Dallas. And so when I'm training with in Houston, so most of the time it was either by myself, I was doing a lot of strength and conditioning. And so that's why my power played a lot of effect, because when I'm not with Derek, I was mostly doing boxing on my own and strength and conditioning. I also had my brother-in-law, which is Thor Westbrook. He was the one holding the mitts for me. He was creative and crafty on it. I had another guy, and then I had my big guys. They was holding the body bag and different target bags. But now I added Juan Guzman to my repertoire when I'm in Houston. I spent a lot of time home, and I do spend a lot of time home. I do go to Derek's. I go off to Dallas. So, and Derek came here a lot of times. You know, he's been in Houston a few times already. I mean, weeks. You know, when I say times, I mean weeks. So I've just been grinding since then, and I think about how I feel mentally. So it's just like I think that I stepped it up, and I added things to my legacy right now, and I love it. It's like being a tree, and then me fertilizing my tree, and I see a brand new branch, like a big old branch that came out of nowhere. So that's kind of how I feel.
Brian Castaño was asked about the fight, and he said, I'm quoting him, quote, "My prediction is that I'm going to win and that he will suffer," end quote. Your thoughts?
I've I've suffered a lot of my life already, you know, like I don't think that Brian Castaño could make me suffer more than I've already suffered in my life with the things that I've been through throughout my life, and my people. When I'm a boy that's strong on my back, it's okay. So I'm not gonna let someone come out of nowhere that you know never been in this type of predicament as well as the adversities that I have faced say that he's gonna make me suffer more. Maybe he was just talking, maybe that was some narrative that they just want to paint. But when you get in there, it's just me and him. So no matter what he gotta say or feel, we're gonna have to see what he gotta do. You know, we're gonna see what he could take and what I could take, and we're gonna see who gonna win that night. It's maybe the best man win. Forget the belts. It's all about the belts. The belts are already online. The belts that matter. I got 3 of them, and I put work in to get those 3. And he put his little work in, and his management and everybody moved him the right way to get his belt. And you know, the top tier guys should fight each other, and that's what I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to put on and be different and show the world that it's about fighting the best, and they could piggyback off of that if they want to, or they can like it or not. I mean, I'm just wanting to fight the best so I can have a good career and a good legacy and enjoy my fruits of my labor later in life. You know, it's not about what Brian Castaño could say or what he could do to me. We seen what I've done to people. We've seen what he's done to people. So it's all about making them 2 meet in San Antonio.
You know, you always hear fighters say there's levels to this thing. And listen, he's a champion. Do you think Brian Castaño is on your level?
Anybody that's a champion. I mean, I'm a unified champion. He's not a unified champion. Skillful, I'm great. I got really good skills, and I've been bringing them out. I've been bringing them out of myself. I've been waking up those inner skills that sometimes they go up. They go kind of quiet whenever you don't use them because you be knocking everybody out. So it's like they don't understand that. Like it's a lot of things that the world won't understand, but they'll get to see a difference in me July 17th. If I could bring my A game and not my B game, and I don't think anybody in the division passes that for me.
If you're victorious, should we start saying Jermell Charlo is top 5 pound for pound, one of the top fighters in the world?
Absolutely. I feel like I should have been, you know, something that they've been talking about. It doesn't do much difference for me if they say I'm not the top. Okay, like there's a lot of fighters in this world. There's some guys that don't even get the recognition that they deserve. You know, there's some guys that they're pro fighters, and there's some guys that's not even pro fighters that got better skills. You know, for instance, I think that one kid that hang with Adrian Broner, I like his attitude, the termite kid. He go hard, you know, and he like 6-0. He's been 6-0 for a long time, but he don't get a lot of recognition. And if you put him in there with a top guy in the division, I feel like he could fight and go crazy and do some things. And he's just a unique person. And I feel like that's about myself. And I like that because that's what give me my hunger. That's what keep me. And then you get to the top, sometimes you get comfortable, you know. And I never wanted to be a comfortable person, you know. And I want to just get comfortable in the uncomfortable positions. And so being in the top 5 with everybody this and that, I don't know if it even brings you more money because this guy's in the top 5 that's not even making nowhere close to the money I'm making. So it's not about being in the top 5 or being in the pound for pound. This ain't no union in this sport. I spoke that before. So if it was, then we'll be, you know, winning rings and all of these other things that be happening. This is not NBA. This is not NFL. This is boxing. So you have to have the right management, the right promotion, and we don't know who out here creating these lists. They can be judgmental and biased about these lists because they don't like us. It's a whole lot of stuff going on, Brian. You know how it go. I'm not here to talk about me being in the top 5 because I just want to let everybody in the world know that I've been training very hard. And if they want to put me in their best list of fighters that's in the world, then I think I come with very unique skills and I come with something different to boxing. And I could be top 5 on talking. I could be top 5 on talking shit. I could be top 5 and bagging it up. There's so many lists out there, bro. They don't give you no award. They don't give up. This ain't the BET Awards. This ain't no award show happening. We ain't fighting for nothing but the trophies that they give us to show our families that we did this before and move on.
If you win, obviously you become undisputed. Do you stay at 154 and defend all those belts, or do you go up to 160? Well,
I would like to fight anybody that would like to fight me and make sense. You know what I'm saying? I could be easily trying to pull an Andre Ward if I really wanted to, because I watch clever people. I watch people that make a decision for their life, and I don't want to end boxing on bad terms. I want to get in this thing and get out this thing. This is a tough sport. It's dangerous. It's and I'm at the peak. I'm at the top. I'm at one of the dopest positions in boxing. So I could be at 154. I could stay here, fight. I don't know the next guys and just beat everybody up. But if the money making sense, I move up to 160. Stay at 154. My twin brother is at 160. We can accomplish goals together. It's all depending on how hungry I am for something like that. I know my stablemate Earl Spence wants to take on some different weight classes instead of stressing his body out, trying to be at 147 if he don't have to. And I see a whole bunch of 147. So it's just a chain reaction. Have everybody domino effect and make a difference in their life. So and then that brings different opponents for me as well. So we'll see what happens on July 17th. I'm gonna put my body at war. And if you don't kill me, I might be in the next one.
And let me ask you this: you said I could pull an Andre Ward. What do you mean?
Andre Ward, win everything, become legendary. Then I'm not already legendary. Just become a Hall of Famer and be on the top and take a break from boxing. And see if I want to pick my parts and see where I want to go. I know everybody say chase the money, chase the money, chase the money. But if you do the things right in your career, you don't have to chase the money. Money is there for you. You'll get money, as time go on. This would be a great fight for me, make some great money. And, who knows, man? Commentate, live off in the sunset, change my life, make another chapter. Who knows? So I like what Andre Ward did. He went in there, fought a tough Colo before he got up out of there. And hey, you didn't see another thing about Andre Ward than him commentating fights.
We had a couple of your contemporaries on the show, and both of them said the same thing, that a fight with them would be the biggest thing for you next at 154. Jarrett Hurd and Julian Williams both said the same thing. Your thoughts?
Well, Jarrett Hurd needs to try to defend his title. His legacy, not title. The title is your legacy, really. He needs to be trying to defend his legacy against the guy he just lost to, which is Luis of Cuba. And I knew that fight was going to happen that way because Luis of Cuba just come to Houston and train with us. And he just no walkover.
You mean Arias?
Arias. I said Luis. I think Luis is a manager. Arias, the Cuban. Big ups to him. He used to come out here and train with me and my brother. And then, he also needs to be trying to fight J-Rock because J-Rock handle his business. And of course, anybody with all of the belts, anybody with that legacy like this and this type of movement that I'm making, of course, me fighting them would be the best thing that can happen for them in their careers, because that means that they can dethrone the top guy and walk in my shoes. So everybody wants to do that. Like, I understand
that. Another guy who talked about you is Danny Garcia. He says he's coming up to 154. And this is his quote, "We don't know how good Jermell is because the division he fights in is a poor one. The guys that Jermell has beaten in the last 3 years are fighters that Danny would beat. The problem with the 154-pound division is many fighters lack talent. And if they were fighting at 147, the vast majority would be fringe level fighters. Quote, I want to get my feet wet first, Danny said, and then I want to fight Jermell Charlo at 154 right away. I want to fight him at 154. And if they offer me that fight, I'm like, yeah, I'll fight him. That's what boxing is about, fighting the best and daring to be great. What do you think?
Well, once again, these are opinionated things, about our weight division. I stand strong in this weight division, and I don't think nobody comes to this weight division and fuck with me. I'm sorry. I'm that guy in this weight division. I got skills. I've been boxing all my life since I was a little kid. And if they never been in the ring with me or never been touched by me, they can't really say much about me, We fight each other in our division. This is division. They look at the division, but it's a lot of top tier fighters that's fighting each other. It's a lot of guys that don't mind getting in the ring. We are fearless people in this division. It's really a dope division to me. That's why I like to stand strong in this division. I worked my ass off to try to make it to this top of the division, and it wasn't easy. But like I said, there's going to be guys moving up. There's going to be little shuffles and changes that'll happen soon in boxing. And if Danny Garcia want to taste that water, it's okay. It's come on. It's deep over in this ocean, and anything like that ain't gonna fear nobody. Put no fear in nobody. Let them come and see what this action about. That they don't gotta lose weight. They don't gotta, and to me, frankly, he was a lot slower at 147 fighting Earl Spence, and he want to gain some weight and try to put on some power so he could put on some pounds. It ain't gonna help. This is different over here.
You said earlier in the interview, the one loss you had made a big difference for you. What do you mean by that?
It just the loss that I took, it woke me up in a way of, this is boxing. Like, you got to learn this, everything about this sport. You can't just be an undefeated fighter. And that helped me with understanding what you got to go through and what it takes to be in that position. You know what I'm saying? So to lose, you can't be letting. This is a sport. So wins and losses happen in the sport of boxing. Muhammad Ali had losses, everybody. So I had to learn these things. You know what I'm saying? Losing, I didn't want to lose. None of this is supposed to be happening to me. All of this kind of crazy stuff it sucked. It sucked, but it taught me some things, and that's what it taught me.
Why do you think the Charlos, especially you, Mel, are so misunderstood?
Because we got a gift of gab, I guess, and we've come from the South. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't stand up and talk for themselves. They let other people talk for them, and if they didn't have the knowledge to speak up for themselves, that's just what it was, And I think that's what, why we wanted the best fighters in the world to fight the best fighters. We was training hard every day. I don't know, it's just, I can't tell you why they don't like me, but I could tell you that a lot of fans have changed their minds about us. And a lot of fans are rocking with the way the Lions only doing things and the movement and everything about it.
For the longest time, you and your twin brother were marketed it together. You did everything, it seemed like, together, obviously, because you're twins, Lions only. You were at his fight, obviously, his recent fight in Houston. But lately, it seems like you guys have been separating from each other, straying apart. Tell me why.
We have our own personal little stuff that, we have to be working out, and we twins, we're brothers, we're competitive. We don't see eye to eye to certain things. And that's what happened, and I think that me and my brother, when that happens, we get stronger. When we do break loose, we tighten that rope back up. So the rope never breaks, and we're never separated from each other. Especially when it comes to these fights and this fighting thing, this is what our world, and we do the same thing. We got the same occupation, and that's to box and feed our family that way. But lately, it's 154 and it's a 160, and we do get tired of people not knowing the difference between the two. And my brother might say something stupid to like somebody like a Benavidez, and he call him out, and they beefing and talking, and everybody want to jump on my tail. But I'm not even the one that called out Benavidez, but I gotta defend my brother, so I'm gonna stand strong and defend my brother no matter what. And then my brother say he could beat him and he fight, I believe in my brother. So I just gotta accept that. But if I say I want to knock somebody else out and my brother, they come at my brother, so it's like vice versa. They always do that to us because we're twins. So being a twin, you gotta understand that you have to fight for one another, and that's what we do.
You know, obviously you guys you train apart. Now you used to train together all the time. How do you think that made you a better fighter?
We just have our different analogies of how we feel about training, you know, and so that's what makes it much more better that we, you know, I do my thing, he do his thing. We reunite back together with the same mental and the same ambition. Really, we just have the same ambition no matter what. But we know for a fact that my physical traits and his physical traits in the grind that we take to do this together, and we do it separately, but we together doing it. So it just like it makes it it makes it an intriguing thing for us both. Like we get a kick out of it later in life. Like, hey, this is when we're gonna come back together and talk about this again. It's gonna be like we're gonna smile and laugh about it. How we ain't together all the time, but we together, but the world don't know that. Or like it's like they all confused, and then all of a sudden, boom, we do get back together. It's like we're close at heart, no matter what.
That's great. You know, when we did your brother's fight, there was a feature that was done on him, and it talked about how much family meant to him. Obviously his wife, his kids. Your mother was in it as well, and his trainer Ronnie Shields. The only person that was missing was you, which was surprising to a lot of people. And he made the comment in the feature that, hey, look, you know, we're just not seeing eye to eye. When you saw the feature, were you disappointed? What was your thoughts?
Well, I kind of get a little disappointed sometimes because I just want people to keep my name, you know, not talk about certain things, and, you know, like, you know, maturity got to set in, I guess. And I feel like we wasn't, you know, like I'm that was his segment. That was his all access. You know, I'm not at his house in his bubble and his cap and stuff. And you know, I did pop up in between during, you know, the beginning of my all access. And, you know, I just think that it didn't make me feel bad. I mean, that's his team. You know what I'm saying? But he only spoke the truth, you know.
You know, people always say Maul is the more calm, seems settled Charlo. Mel is more the high-strung Charlo. Is that accurate?
It is. It's accurate. I'm always on 10. They say, you know, I got a high level of energy. You know, I'm doing what I gotta do, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel confidence in myself. I feel good about myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing. So, it ain't too much that I would change about that. I mean, that's what definitely defines up fixes the difference between us, you know.
And you also started your own YouTube channel, Ringside with the Lions. Tell me why.
I started my YouTube channel because I wanted people to kind of see a little bit deeper into the life of Jermell Charlo, but as well see what really goes on, you know, like, and not be afraid to think what they want to think, but also have their own the real purpose, you know. I spend quality time setting up videos and quality time doing things with me and my photographer and videographer. He's excellent. He does a great job trying to make everybody sorry, I'm flying from something in front of me, but yeah, man, trying to set up everything, bro. We just you know, want that to grow. YouTube is also a way of outlet for me to express myself, as well as get things out of my chest if I really wanted to, instead of going to all of these media outlets and trying to do interviews with people that really don't even like you. And that's what really got it. Cause I'm like, man, you know, they don't like me, bro. They really don't like me. So why are they doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why they acting like that? If they don't like me, why they trying to interview me and talk to me and do all these other stuff? So, you know, it made me jump into one and I started trying to do segments where I talk a little bit, but then I started seeing that they took one of those segments and put it on the boxing scene, and they taking everything. So, you know, it is what it is, you know, and I got to take the good with the bad too. So, yeah.
How would you describe the biggest difference between Jermall Charlo and Jermell Charlo? Biggest difference?
Just the weight division. We both family men. We both love you. You know, our children, we both Tauruses, you know, / Geminis, because our birthday on the 19th. So we got two love personalities. I mean, biggest difference between me is, like I said, I guess I'm more of the realistic twin that'll jump off first. I want to fight first. I want to be the one that fight for my brother. I want to be the one that punch somebody, bust, stab them, whatever I gotta do anything stupid that I gotta do so nobody else get in trouble. Like, I always was that guy, and I kept my head clear and I kept my mind right. And I'm here in the boxing world.
Do you get a sense though that your brother is becoming increasingly frustrated with the lack of high-profile fights and opponents like you're getting. You seem to be getting these high-profile opponents, and he's not. You get a sense that it's becoming frustrating for him.
I guess he must be getting frustrated a little bit because, like he can't get the fights that he wants. I mean, but he's still in there fighting. So at the end of the day, he can enjoy what he's doing because he's still doing what he loves. And that's all that matters, And I think that he he eventually get that breakthrough, get a big name out the way. And then that may be what it's, I fought guys in the top 5 and 3 and all these kind of different positions. So it's like once you become a champion, you do fight the top and you fight your mandatories, people might not understand that. And I feel like it's okay, if I gotta be the one to get us out there, I'm gonna be the one to get us out there. We one team.
Yeah. What'd you think of his performance against Montiel? Montiel certainly came to fight that night. What'd you think?
It's just another tough opponent that we be facing. And Montiel wanted to go the distance. He was surviving. So my brother was hitting with everything and he was going what he could. He showed that he wasn't just there to, walk away. He wanted to be victorious. Montiel come from a deep background in boxing. He ain't just a walk in the park. He could probably beat a lot of guys in my brother's division. He gonna be a tough guy for a while. And he proved that night. And that's why my brother went 12 rounds. But he won unanimously, defeated the guy, and that's all.
And what do you think? Do you think Maul needs to move up to 160? Because David Benavidez was certainly calling him out after that fight.
I think my brother can move up or he could stay in domain like he been doing. Like I hate when he moved up from 54 because you got to move up. You get in the back of the bus, basically. You got to work your way to the front. And that's kind of how, moving up in weight divisions, that's what it showed us. I mean, some people get a little bit more favor where they move up and they fight just the champion all the time. So, I seen that happen. I mean, I don't know how they be doing that, but, good management, good position. You can move up and fight, face some of the top guys. That'll be a good fight for my brother to make a name. It'll do a lot of stuff. David Benavidez don't stop. He keep punching. I seen him fight in person, and he's a cool guy. Like a good attitude on him. He's strong-minded. He want to fight. He want to win. He want to be in there with the best. And that's they all chasing that Canelo fight, and they all trying to get that ticket to feed their family. And if they got to make a match between them two, I think that's a good fight.
We'll wrap it up with Maul on this. Do you think your brother is ready for Canelo Alvarez right now?
I do. I think my brother can get in there with Canelo Alvarez and they can trade some blows and see if they, my brother could get in there and fight. Canelo Alvarez is a tough boy. He ain't gonna stop. He keep punching. He punch at very good torque and power, and it's all about the game plan or what they come with. My brother feels confidence, and I feel confidence in him. Your training partner Errol Spence has a huge fight in August against Manny Pacquiao. How do you see that? 2 Southpaws going at it. How do you see that fight playing out? That's a great fight. Like I love that fight actually. I just don't think Manny Pacquiao gonna come to Earl. He kind of a lot older now. He not just as up to par like he used to be. He went through some wars. His whole life. Earl Spence is a dominant fighter. He's training very hard. He's doing different things for his career too. He making his fights and adjustments while he in camp. And that's what they're gonna have to see on Earl when Earl could get in there. Earl, he fired up. They lit a different type of fire. They, his accident, they doubted him then. And then, of course, what they're gonna say now. I mean, he's the top king in the division. He beat a lot of people. And he living. He's having a good time doing it. And now Manny Pacquiao, one of the best guys in his division, and they put them two together. And that's what that Texas love is. They fight. We fight who we can. We fight the top tier though. We're gonna stand strong in
it. Mental health has certainly mental health has certainly become a real topic in sports. Recently, Ryan Garcia says he suffers from anxiety and depression. He pulled out of the fight. Now he says he's back. He's ready to wreck shop. You say mental health is real. And listen, that you said you had, obviously some issues in the past as well. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about mental health and how it's affected you and things of that nature.
I just can't. Even if I feel like I'm a warrior, even if I got mental health issues and I got real mental problems or anything that I feel like I can't stop it from feeding my family though, you can always clear these things up. And I mean, it could get to the best of you, you know, like it all depends on how strong some people are. And I you know, pray that they make it out of it. You know, like I'm one of the type of guys that let life make it out, do it for me. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, I've been fighting this little fly now. We in Texas. We got gunners going on out here. With leave that door open, boy. They start attacking you. But you know, like, you know, I just think that the mental, you know, that's a very good topic, you know, a good touching part, you know, because like we all have to face some type of things in our life. I think everybody in the world possibly has some type of sort of mental, but we boxers, but we getting punched on the face all like, you know, it has to put some type of wear and tear on your mental. And I think that's more of what I face, you know, in my life. With, you know, not too much of depression and anxiety, you know, like or things like that, but you just gotta know how to, you know, like I said, deal with it and don't let it affect you from being your family. And all, like I couldn't be Ryan Garcia and pull out the fight. I gotta feed, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And had it ever gotten, whether it was anxiety, whether it was depression, had it ever gotten to the point where you felt like you needed to have medicine or go to a doctor and say, hey, look, I need something prescribed for me to help my moods or my mood swings, things of that nature?
Nah, never. I don't even like medicine. So I'm not. Yeah, and I can't. It's gonna be hard for me even wanting to go sit down and talk to somebody because I don't have that type of personality or attitude to just listen to somebody. Y'all probably ain't never been through half of what I've been through, so I don't think I got the time to even want to listen to somebody BS. But I know people do need it. There's counselors everywhere in this world. There's people there's psychologists, and they probably looking at this interview right now thinking this dude is all jacked up on the head. But you know, the people that's around me, they love me, they protect my mental well-being. And if somebody around me think that I need help, they'll probably speak up on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I hear it all the time. You know, you gotta be jacked up some type of way. You know, like I'm a boxer. I've been fighting my whole life, and then I'll be having so much people wanting to see you lose. Of course, you know, that plays a very big part, you know.
Mel, for people who watch and listen to the podcast, we allow them to submit questions. They came raining down through social media for you, so we're going to get to them. This one comes from Twitter. It says, why does it seem like you are always beefing with your twin brother publicly?
Sometimes, like, you know, if it wasn't for my mom teaching us, like, if you cut up in public or at home, you still going to get the same ass whooping, like, you know. So I just kept that mentality to my whole life. You know, I don't care if it's public. I don't care if it's private. You know, stuff happened for a reason, and then sometimes it needing to be addressed at that time. I love my brother, so I don't be beefing with him. You know what I'm saying? We don't got no beef with each other. You know what I'm
saying? This one from Twitter, it says, why don't you believe Wilder's glove gate? Do you have a personal problem with Wilder?
I don't necessarily have a problem with Wilder, but Wilder, you know, he been a boxer who rooted against me a few times. I might feel some type of way about that, but personally, I don't got no problem with him unless they got a problem with me. You know, I know he spoke on me, somebody slapping me and all of this other stuff, and I didn't like that. I don't take that lightly whatsoever. And so, but the gloves, you know, I think that the gloves, hey, can you grab me? I'm sorry about that. I got a child, a new baby. I think that the gloves is not like, I mean, if you got, like I said, commission, and you got different people that's watching you, you send over your coaches to go watch them and they monitor the whole situation. I'm just one of those guys that couldn't believe that. And I have my own opinions, and maybe Wilder's seen something and knew something that we as the world still are blind to. So it's not like I'm jacked up about that either. You know what I'm saying? That's not my business, really. I need to keep my nose in my own pocket. That's what happened.
Next one from Twitter. It says, what weight class do you think you will max out at? And do you see yourself winning a title there?
I only fought in 2 weight classes my whole career so far. So I don't really know if I'll go up to 60 or 68. I'm a solid 154 pounder. So yeah, I don't know.
This next one from Twitter, it says, will we see a Jermell homecoming fight in H-Town after your undisputed fight with Castaño?
I don't know, man. I might want to fight in Houston. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I love to fight in my city. We could pack a crowd. We can bring out the city again. That'll be a dope thing. I hope I do fight in Houston. You know what I'm saying? I really want to fight in Houston. That'll be a tight thing. And my brother did it. I love the people that come, my city, we represent. Hey,
next one from Twitter. It says, with Errol Spence talking about moving to 154, would you defend your titles against him or would you move up?
Yeah, I would never. I can't find my stablemate. It's kind of I done it before though. I fought a stablemate, but we're a lot closer, and I'm not interested in wanting to fight. No one that me and we got the same coach. How he gonna work two corners? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, me and my coach going all the way to the end with it, and I don't. Nah, I move up. You know, we domain this mug together. You know, I ain't selfish on the belts. I want them to win them all right now. And what vacate him and my boy never want to win. That's this whatever fight makes more sense. I wouldn't want to fight.
This one from Twitter, it says, what did you think of Gervonta's fight with Barrios? And who do you like in a potential matchup with Regis Prograis and Tank at 140?
That's another dope fight that I think that they really should try to make. Regis and Gervonta Davis he did his thing. He proved to the world, not just to the world, but he proved to boxers that he the real deal. And he come with a different ferocious punch at his weight division. I think he owned that division right now. I think nobody could see him. Like Gervonta, that guy. You know, he punching power is on point. His speed is on point. His uniqueness in the ring. I think he's crafty.
And what would you think? Because you know Prograis, you guys kind of grew up together. What would you think about Prograis and Tank fight?
That's another tough fight, but I would have to see what Prograis at in his training abilities and what he's doing and how to assess that fight. That wouldn't just be something I could just say, oh, because I believe in you, and it doesn't work that way. I want to know how you're gonna beat him. And Regis is strong mentally. He physically strong. He ready for war. And he, coming from the boot, they eat different over there, and he's been through some things in his life just as well as Gervonta. So it's just a dope fight. It's just a great fight to have.
This one from Twitter, it says, which fights were your best performances?
I don't know, man. I think Rosario, I moved my head a lot, did some few things. I think my best performance could have been a Tony Harrison 2 fight because the hype behind it, and I lived up to my hype. I didn't fight some fighters. I didn't fight Honest Monterosian. That was a great fight. You gotta just go back over my, I didn't fight some cool fights.
These must be coming from England because we got a couple questions about this. It says, what are your thoughts on a Tim Tszyu fight?
I wouldn't even know no thoughts on him right now. I don't even have he a tough fighter. I think he come to fight too. And so I just think that he need to work his way up, and maybe we could see each other in the future.
All right, Mel, we've come to the last segment of this show. We call it The Last Stand. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Just give me the first thing that comes to your mind, champ. You ready?
All right.
Give me the one fighter who you just don't rock with. I mean, you see him, you hear his name, it just gets under your skin.
Tony Harrison.
Is 154 the best division in boxing?
Currently, to me, yes.
Okay. Pound for pound, who is the best fighter in the world right now?
I get it to Canelo Alvarez.
First thing that comes to your mind when I say Demetrius Andrade.
Oh, that's another guy that was just first thing that comes to my mind is how I feel so bad for you.
And the one thing that people would be surprised about if they knew about Jermell Charlo. What's the one to be surprised about Jermell Charlo if you said, yeah, but I do like this, or if you found out about you, what is it? What's that one thing?
I study a lot of Kung Fu.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Right.
you know I'm a martial artist, man. I'm a second-degree black belt. Really?
I'll watch you.
I love it. Who's your favorite fighter?
Well, the legend. I love Bruce Lee. I tatted him on my neck, and I just stand for a lot of things he said. And it's hard to try to do anything that he was doing. So it's like it's yeah.
Well, I tell you what, man. I've been looking forward to this, and I think Look, I'm really excited for you because you get the opportunity to make history, and not a lot of guys get that opportunity. Not a lot of guys get a chance to be champion, but let alone unmuted. I wish you nothing but success on July 17th.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
That's what we do here on The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport, and I'm telling you, at 154, the biggest name is Jermell Charlo. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.